All right, so your cultural groups, which of your groups now that you chose would you categorize as a dominant group or an in-group? And which of those groups would you categorize as a subordinate group or an out-group? And I'm talking now society in general, right? Does society in general view any of the cultural groups that you belong to as an out-group or an in-group, a dominant group or subordinate group?
Yeah, like those of us who have tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just mostly in the past 5 years, you're really seeing a lot more people that have them.
Right.
Or that are getting them, and a lot more tattoo shops than there used to be.
Right.
And you used to always see, you would always think of a tattoo shop as, oh, the bad people are going to go there and get
Right.
tattooed. Or whatever, or
Yes.
the people who are grimy, or people who are naughty, and like all these things or whatever. But nowadays, it's shifting to where more people who don't have a tattoo are not the dominant group anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just a silly example, but...
No, it's actually a very good example because that's a group that is shifting from an out group. And in still some ways, depending on some workplaces, right? Because you can't just sport, what do you call them?
Sleeves.
Okay. You can't just sport your sleeves in some workplaces, right?
Or
it's still
stuff.
considered an out group.
Like creeping up the neck.
Or even on your neck, right? And
or your face.
Clients coming, and it's on their neck or on their face, right? Because I don't see any visible. Y'all got them hidden pretty well right now, and I won't ask where they all are. But if they were visible in certain places, you might go from an in-group to an out-group, right? Just in someone's mind. So that's a good example of a shifting group in the ways that we think about people. Any other groups that you would categorize as an in-group or an out-group that you put down as your cultural group?
I think the Harleys is a big one too.
Harley?
Yeah,
the
Harley ridings, that's a shift because it used to be, you saw Harley riders, it was all the badass bikers and the gangs, the Hells Angels and all that. And now you go to South Dakota for the big show and it's lawyers and doctors and, whole different. Yeah, there are still some of those out there, but it's a really different shift of who rides anymore.
Yes, so good. Another shifting group, and y'all are still badasses, but maybe not in that same way of kicking down doors and having bar fights, right?
I would just like to say that I would like to see single mothers as a cultural group become badass and mainstream too, because as a culture group I feel now that I've become a part of, I definitely feel it's an out group, and it puts perceptions in people's minds when they don't know you, and when they find out you are, then all of a sudden they have a bunch of perceptions about you, and then you, I think, bring your own kind of negative responses to how you perceive people perceiving you. So I would like to see that make a shift too.
The funny thing is in my thoughts of everything, there's been single mothers forever, and they've been around forever. They've just been kind of kept silent.
And the way that we look at them, right? So in certain groups, single mothers are shifting into more acceptability, but we're not there yet, right? And it also depends on class. There are certain single mothers who are looked down upon more than other single mothers, right?
Right.
So, and you had something?
I was going to say parents, but she kind of said
And is it Demario?
Yeah.
Demario's the only one with a name. He travels with it. Thank you.
Yeah, he takes it where he goes.
So, yeah.
But don't you see, when I hear single mother, I think hard worker. That's what comes to my mind. But I was a single mother, so.
Well, and so, Michelle, that experience of being a single mother then helps you with your understanding of who single mothers are, right? And so you're not biased against because you've been a single mother, right? So how about you all on the phone? Was there any dominant or subordinate groups that you belong to that you want to share? It's kind of
go along the line with the mother thing, because I mean it was a cultural shift when moms started going outside the home and working and still being a mom. And I think sometimes there's a border between the housewife or the mother that works or the single mother who works and does it all.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one that's shifting and complicated, right? It depends on your culture, it depends on your class. Media images can reinforce whether it's negative or positive, whether it's in or whether it's out. And interestingly enough, the trend is more toward postponing marriage, having kids, right? As opposed to a time in, the 1950s where it was shameful to have children out of wedlock.